nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. But let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. Your eyes, they sparkle with every click. Sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
I saw Werewolf drinking a martini at last call, and his hair was absent. Monday will be a full moon in October, so we gotta talk werewolves. Boomer and I will share our collective top 10 werewolf films in release order, and we would love to hear which is your favorite. So get comfortable, top off your glasses, and we'll start howling at the moon right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Vasalut and welcome to the weekend! Ow! Let's get this party started. Those of you that joined me for Liquid Lunch this afternoon know what I am sipping on. It is a full moon cocktail. Take a look at that. Does that not actually look like a full moon? And I gotta say, it tastes way, way better than I was expecting it to. It is really, really yummy. So, again, for those of you that didn't join me this afternoon, first, why not? Second, the ingredients are a 1/4 cup pomegranate juice, 1½ ounces of vodka, a 1/2 ounce of chambord, a 1/2 ounce of grenadine. Of course, that's homemade grenadine from scratch. Made by yours truly. That video is a couple weeks old. 1/2 teaspoon of activated charcoal and 1 ice sphere. And let me tell you something. That's a yummy, yummy drink. I am maybe it's because there's so much pomegranate juice in it, but the chambord definitely comes through. And actually so does the Well, the grenadine, obviously, that just adds to the pomegranate. The activated charcoal doesn't bring anything to it except is it turning my tongue black? It might be.
Let me see. No.
No, not yet. Okay. I'm expecting you to start seeing like black on my lips or something. Oh, maybe it'll start making my mustache black again. We'll see. Anyway, welcome everybody. Let's get the important people in here. Starting with the lovely Netter of Netter's Network. She looks obviously very European in this picture. Howdy, my dear. And what are you sipping on?
Well, it depends on which glass you're looking at. I've got my Polar brand seltzer water black cherry.
Yep.
I've got a little shot glass with, what's that stuff called?
Chambard.
Chambard. And then I've got a brandy snifter with...
vodka cranberry.
Yeah. Did you try this?
Yes, I did. It's not bad. But I thought it might have been strong for you.
So what would happen if I added the Chambard to the other stuff?
It'd be even closer to the drink that I'm drinking right now.
I don't like having all these glasses.
Okay, that's fair. That is absolutely fair.
It's actually pretty yummy.
Yeah.
And he didn't overdo with the vodka, so I don't have that aftertaste of the alcohol.
There you go. And let's see.
And mine just looks like blood.
It does. Yours looks like blood because I no activated charcoal there. Let's get the. Oh, okay. Yeah. I should have seen that one coming. The aged boomer werewolf joins us tonight. How you doing, and what are you sipping on, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Decided to go with old man John Carradine from The Howling there. And for drinking tonight, I have a coffee. It looks like it's veteran-founded Black Rifle Coffee espresso with cream. So we'll see if it stands up to that Georgia Gold. I don't know.
There you go.
Try
You
it.
tell
Let's
me.
see. Not bad.
Maybe you should Irish it up a little bit.
Good source of protein.
There you go.
What the heck they put in this? Anyway.
I'll bet there's a little bit of whey
I
powder.
thought, yeah, rifle in the title. You have to use a rifle to hunt the werewolves with. Right.
I'm not going to talk about Black Rifle, but that's a topic for another day. Let's talk about Geek Flag with Nate Knows coming in with like, share, subscribe, comment, and become a member. Or I'll come over to your house on Halloween and eat all your candy. He'll do it too. He'll do it. He really will. And speaking of becoming a member, I was going to start a goal for gifted memberships. Unfortunately, despite the fact that YouTube has been sending me emails about it, they have not activated it on my channel yet. So can't do that.
Dirty bastages.
I know, but just remember that I do have a goal this year of trying to get to 100 members by the end of the year, and you can help me with that. Either become a member yourself, or if you are already a member, gift a membership. You can become a member for as little as $2 a month. The usual gifted membership is the regulars at $5. And I don't know how we will celebrate. We will do some kind of big celebration if I can make it to 100
Maybe
members.
a giveaway.
Some sort of giveaway, probably an additional karaoke party. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely would love it if you guys can help me get there. And
I think I said hi, sweetie, to everybody in the chat, but my chat keeps jumping, so if I missed you, let me know. I'll go up there because you're like going through menopause.
my head is starting to hurt because of the heat. I mean,
Are you sure it's not from the alcohol?
this is how much I've drunk so far. This little teeny tiny.
But how much have you taste tested while you were making it?
None. I didn't taste it.
Were you recently bit by a lythocampric or what a catholic being? On
Lycanthropic?
Lycanthropic.
There you go.
There you
I
go.
can help you with these big Latin-based words.
Being on the road last night, and now you're feeling all weird and stuff. I'm just saying.
I don't leave the house anymore. I haven't left the house since 2019. Big Al whoops, I just took it down. Big Al Presents says, have a great stream, my friend. Anyone seen 2014's Bubba the Redneck Werewolf? No. Is it any good? I've never even heard of it, my friend. Lynn Green is looking forward to listening to this later. She can't stick around right now. And of course, Netter, who is going to turn down the AC, is calling me the love of her life because she is so sweet. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. Mark Malnikoff says, drive-by like from the dilithium mines, release the Krakens, the Netterbots, charge disruptors, and load the photon torpedo bays. Have a great stream. Like and subscribe, become a member. Thank you so much, Mark. Super, super appreciate that. Jesse Guajardo. Hello there. Am I early? Well, you got here before I saw your comment, so I would say, okay, sure.
Did you hear the song?
Well, yeah. If you missed the song, maybe rewind it. Well, you don't want to play on Fast Forward. The song would sound weird then. Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Hi, all. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Deleted Scenes. Dropping the salute. Salute. Accounting Sheep. Howdy, all. Just saying hi. Can't stick around. Too dangerous for us sheep to be around all these werewolves. I see what you did there. You silly. David Pensack says, good evening. Welcome, welcome, my friend. No, it will turn my eyes more colorful. There you go. Sounds like a drink to put hair on your chest. Well, I should hope so.
I know you haven't gotten there yet because it's the very last comment, but Big Al Presents just made me crack up. Bubba the Redneck Werewolf is free on Tubi.
But of course it is. In fact, a lot of these movies that we're going to be talking about tonight are available on Tubi. Look, Nate is sipping on a polar peach tonight. That should be brisk and refreshing. There we go, Jesse dropping "ow," which of course in Evie Mux comes out as singing fish.
Yeah,
for whatever reason. Let's see here. Yeah, it's free on Tubi. On Tubi is a werewolf movie called Werewolf in England. It has one of the worst looking werewolves I've seen in a movie, very cheaply made, but surprisingly well written and acted. I'll have to check that out. That does sound interesting. Have you seen the Sam Jones documentary on Tubi? Was better than I thought. No, I haven't, but I'll have to look into it. Yeah, he's somebody that his story is very interesting. I feel he was very mistreated by Hollywood, but then again, who isn't? But let us go ahead and start getting towards the presentation because whoops,
what are you doing?
I don't know why it's all the way back there or all the way up there. Maybe that's how you sent it to me. Did you ever think about that?
You mean it remembers the spot?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Well, did you think we weren't going to do the Wolfman in our top 10 werewolf movies? Seriously?
Exactly right. Okay, yeah, take it away.
All right. I guess I'm in charge of this. Operation here. I almost put the expression "hungry like the wolf" as the title, but then that's why I used it on your stream earlier today.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, did you catch the Warren Zevon video I sent you?
I didn't when you sent it to me, but while I was out getting the stuff I needed for my drinks, I had Google play it for me.
You had it play in a car. Okay, the video is kind of funny. All right, The Wolfman, Universal Horror Classic, 1941. This was your pick.
Man who is pure of heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. It's actually a much longer poem than that.
I gotta be blunt with you, and I used to like the old monster movies even as a kid.
Oh yeah.
But did you ever find the Wolfman, especially did you find him scary? He looks like he needs a shave.
Yeah. I mean, I was always very impressed with the the transformation
I
scenes.
get
the way they
for
were
the
done.
time it was very advanced. Yes, I'm not picking on the effects. I think they did their best.
Let me tell you, they went
Yeah.
above and I feel that Lon Chaney Jr. went above and beyond with the way he walked on his toes to make it look like digigrade legs. I thought that was brilliant.
Yes. And I'll say this: I like Lon Chaney as Talbot.
John Talbot, or is that it?
Ta-
John Talbot? Yeah.
in this, he's an interesting because he sort of starts out as sort of the leading man in a horror movie, except this time the leading
Right.
man is the one that gets attacked and becomes the monster, which is not
Exactly.
usually the case in these
And
old
it does
Universal
make
horror
him a
movies.
very tragic character because
Yes.
it is a curse. It's not something he wished upon himself. In fact, he was a very sympathetic character. Except for the whole turn into a werewolf and kill people. That's
Yeah, well, there is that, but I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he can't help it. There he
I'll
is.
tell you,
See,
looking
huh?
very dashing.
Yeah, got the suit on. All the men wore suits back then. Nice striped tie, huh?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'll show you a brief scene. I only have three.
And if his leading lady doesn't deserve a wolf whistle, let me tell you.
I guess, and she fainted. I guess she. I guess she's that shallow in the looks department, huh? Come on.
She was just so impressed by the beard. That's what it was. That's what made her faint.
But anyway, though, anyway. Anything left to say about this? I mean, it's the original. It's got gypsies talking about curses, right, and things
Yeah,
like that.
my only thing with this, and I felt this way ever since I was a kid. I first saw this in grade school, actually, at a Halloween shindig that the school was doing. But was I scared by it? No, not really. I did. For the longest time, I had a hard time placing when the story is supposed to take place. It's meant to be a period piece, and yet all of the American characters, the leading lady, Lon Chaney, and so forth, come off as very like 1940s.
Here's what I get from these Universal horror movies from here. In the United States of America, things are modern. And then they go over to Europe, and it's like late 1800s. People are wearing lederhosen all the time, and things like that. Like, it's almost like a fantasy world. That's how I sort of treat it, because it's like Europe,
Exactly.
and they just go to town on these villages where they're all weird, looking like something out of a fairy tale. It's like Sherlock Holmes, how they were doing Sherlock Holmes movies in the 1930s and 40s, right? But they were Basil Rathbone. But they were taking place in the modern day. But my impression was it wasn't so far removed from when, I guess, Holmes or even books like Dracula had been published that you could still set them in modern time, and it wasn't that much further away. Yes, it's the modern times with electricity and radio, but it's not so far away. It's sort of like how you could do Spider-Man as a 1960s character, but they could still set him in the early 2000s without it seeming weird, because it's only been a few decades. Now, in 100 years, will they still be able to do a Spider-Man thing that takes place in the modern era, or would it look weird because it's such a dated character at that point?
They've already got Spider-Man 2029, so,
We're going to be at 2029
Or no, I'm sorry, wait a minute. I take that back. I think it's 2099.
That was better. Yeah, that made more sense, yes.
But I just feel like in that specific regard of the costume and the apparent when the story takes place, I feel like the remake with Benicio del Toro it just felt a little bit more okay. This is a definite period piece, Anyway, just my thought. But nothing against this movie at all. I love this movie. It is a classic. I revisit all the time.
I think it holds up rather well, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say that. I mean, some of the other... I mean, I'm not bored watching it. But again, I do feel sorry. And go ahead.
Yeah, you are. It is supposed to be a little bit tragic, kind of a Beauty and the Beast kind of story. And, of course, I will go out of my way to watch this every time it's on Svengoolie.
And it didn't make it to the list, but I know as a runner-up you did have the Wolfman remake with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins and Emily Blunt. Yeah, that was one of the more almost I'll say it was successful. You know what? I'm
Yeah,
going to cut it some
yeah.
slack.
It
Yeah,
was a really good remake. Yeah.
because I just thought it could have dialed back some of the gore, which I think is fine with movies like some of the ones we'll be showing tonight. But I thought with Wolfman, I would have toned it down a little bit. But
I think that was part of the updating, though. I think they were going with
I
if this was
know.
horrific in the 40s, then we need to make it horrific for.
But they're still setting it. Period, though.
Yeah, yeah. Do you
I
think
don't
they
know.
were
I
less
don't know.
barbaric back then? Really?
I'm saying what the audience would deal with on film was less. That's my point. I didn't anyway.
Oh, I
Let's
see
move
what you're
on.
saying. I see what you're
Let's
saying.
move on. Troy, did you see
Jesse says, yeah. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein monster, Dracula, and the Wolfman. Hold on to that. We'll get to those.
Well, no, we're not.
No, we're
I don't
not.
have- I
Neither
don't-
one of us chose it.
I didn't pick Abbott and Costello. No,
Oh,
they're not
you
on the
didn't
list.
pick Abbott and Costello.
Because I
Okay.
picked the
Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
Wonderful, this happened
Keep in
before
mind,
Abbott
too,
and Costello.
all of these Universal stories, this way predates the whole Marvel shared universe thing. These were a shared universe back then.
Now, this should have been Frankenstein versus the Wolfman. I think that would have been the more proper title. They meet. Hey, how you doing? I mean, it's like, it's...
Yeah, I what really bothers me about this movie is that scene where Frank says to the Wolfman, "Why do you say that name?"
Yes. All right, let's move on.
And the
I know-
Wolfman's like, "Huh?"
Yes. Okay. So here we go. We have Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. This is Lon Chaney Jr.'s back. It starts out with a couple of grave robbers. They're
Yep.
getting into the tomb of Mr. Talbot there, right? And they're saying, "Let's
Right.
steal his ring," and because that's what grave robbers do. But by
That's true.
exposing him to like the moon, suddenly he comes back to life, which means he can't really be killed.
Right. Exactly.
And this
it's
is
part
where
of the
he's
curse.
all horrified by this because I'm like, if I'm alive, I'm going to keep killing people. And he attacks a few people too, like later scene. He's running around London attacking people. And he doesn't know what to do. But then somehow he finds out, because I was watching this the other night, and he gets the idea that, hey, Baron Frankenstein, maybe he knows of a way to kill me or something, or because he basically wants to die.
Right, exactly.
So he won't be, and because he says I should not be alive. He even goes to the old gypsy woman, and I feel bad because they have kind of a nice scene there because she actually is trying to help him. She says, I know I care for my son, and you were the cause of his death, but I will not care for you until your time ago. Like she actually is trying to help him, but probably is one of his few friends he has in this movie actually.
Yeah.
Because she understands the curse.
Final Fantasy fan 012 says, "Hey everyone, recently been watching the Universal Monster movies lately. Just recently watched the 1932 Mummy. I will be watching the Werewolf movies later this month." There you go. Robert's Infinite Realms, welcome to you. He says, "Hello, my Friday night friends. Universal Monsters is a great love of mine. Absolutely. Make sure you check out over on, it's not on Big Al Presents channel. He's got a Facebook page for the Universal Monsters that you should probably check out. And if you're still here, Al, if you want to drop a link to that, please do that. I've been doing this to celebrate the Halloween season this year. That's how you do it, my friends. That's what we're doing here tonight."
Yep. And let's see here.
Well, did you also note that this was the monster, rather than being played by Boris Karloff in previous films, he is played by Bela Lugosi.
Oh, that is Bela Lugosi in this. I thought it was him. I'm like, is that Bela Lugosi?
Interestingly, Bela Lugosi was, and there is the link Big Al has just dropped to his iconic Universal Monsters page. And he's got regular posts there, definitely worth checking out. Apparently Bela Lugosi was originally offered the role of Frankenstein, and he didn't take it because he didn't want a non-speaking role. But then again, he takes Dracula, and he had to learn all of his lines phonetically because he didn't speak English yet. And then eventually he got around to playing Frankenstein. So So there you go.
There you go. And then he gets to play Dracula again, and Abbott and Costello meet Dracula. Is that what it is? Or
Yeah,
meet the
exactly
monsters?
right.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
they met everybody.
Or
They met
Frankenstein was
Dracula,
it? I think it's called
Frankenstein, the
Dracula.
werewolf. They met everybody.
I guess Frankenstein was the most popular of the Universal monsters. Maybe the Mummy was close by, if I recall. But yeah, here we have Baron Frankenstein's like great niece. Holy moly! Okay, wow, she is a nice looking lady.
She's a wow. Yes.
Like, I don't know. I feel like back then they cast actresses, based on what do the men in the audience want to look at, and now sometimes castings are made to
Well,
demoralize the men in the audience.
they're getting back to that now, with the
Okay.
Sydney Sweeney era. But for a while there, it was like, how can we find the ugliest women we can find? Oh, she's not ugly enough. Well, we'll ugly her up.
That's happened. Yes. Let's not go down that road. That's some doctor guy that was on top. I guess the idea is let's transfer. So I guess the idea behind this is if he can somehow, they can't like kill the Wolfman, but maybe they could transfer his life force out of him and use that to bring the Frankenstein monster back to life. I've seen this movie a couple times. I still don't understand this. I guess the idea is, okay, the Frankenstein monster will become rejuvenated, and I assume if he gets the life force, he'll start, singing serenades and stuff, and be all civil. I don't know what the point of getting, because the monster's already walking around. And when Talbot shows up to the German or Swiss village or whatever it is, and they say, "We don't want you poking around here asking about the Frankenstein monster," and they start harassing him, and probably wanted to turn the werewolf on the spot. Said, "You think that monster's bad? Take me on." He starts attacking the people. That doesn't happen though, unfortunately. But the Festival of New Life does happen, which is this music. And I'm not
wonderful
kidding you
musical
here.
number. Yeah.
What is this? Suddenly there's a musical number breaks out in the middle of the movie, and you have this.
Yep.
I don't know, like this dude in like the I don't know, like I guess I want to say it's like German or Swiss or something with the cap and the suspenders, and he's talking about living eternally and drinking the wine of new life, and it's this nice thing, and he goes around. It's kind of like a mariachi band at a restaurant where they go around table to table and they're singing their song, and they go up to Talbot here, and he's like. He's not smiling. He's not in the mood for singing. Then the guy says, "And you will live eternally." And then he's like, "Why did you say that?" And he starts freaking out, and he yells at the town. He says, "Go away. Leave me alone." It's like, I don't want to live forever. And it's like he has a mental breakdown.
Wants to live forever?
Well, not him. Okay, so they do the experiment, and I guess it doesn't really kill the Wolfman, but Frankenstein gets stronger. And there's a rumble in the jungle or something. They start attacking each other, and it's just whoa. And then the castle gets destroyed because of a dam breaking or something that they're doing the experiment in.
I guess.
Which I guess was the Frankenstein castle, actually.
Right.
Because remember, wait a minute. The son of Frankenstein willed it to the village at the end. So how does the Baroness have access to it still? Because it was acting like he was wanting to buy it from her or something.
Dude, am I going to have to go back and watch all of these again?
Is there a continuity error here? Because no, she shouldn't own that. That belongs to the village. He said, look, okay.
Unless she bought it back.
Yeah, there's that possibility.
She could have bought it back. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, or maybe
Frankenstein's
maybe she owned a house with his goods in it and not the castle. I don't know. What? Okay, what? Okay.
Frankenstein is my favorite Universal monster movie. Frankenstein is also my favorite novel, but both for very different reasons.
Very different stories,
because they are very different stories. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they are. I've read the book.
The language is just beautiful. It really, really is. I love the part where the Wolfman said, if you think Frankenstein's monster is bad, wait till they get a load of me. Boop, boop, ba-doop.
I wanted to see that scene. I wanted to see that scene where, like, they were thinking the Frankenstein monsters was, and that's the Wolfman, and the Wolfman starts attacking the villagers that are always nasty and hate Baron Frankenstein and are trying to chase him out of town because he creates monsters that goes and kills their children. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Anyway, I enjoy this movie. It's like a brisk. It's only like a little over an hour long. It's not a long movie it was fun, and you have a good-looking actress in the movie and a musical number. So what more can you ask for? Okay. Is this after the war, or is this
There-
before
there's
the
n-
war? This during the war, maybe.
There's nothing that says when you get to the musical number you have to watch it. You could always nowadays fast forward through it.
But the musical number is the best part.
If you say so.
Okay, I actually have that song. There's some guy, he did like a, it's like a, it was a CD filled with like old tunes on it, and they had
Yeah.
like, like the Superman theme from the old Superman TV show, and
Sure,
another one
sure.
was this theme, and it was a redone version of that song, the song in real life. And even at
Oh
the
my
end, you
God.
have some guy who's supposed to be Lon Chaney saying, "Why did you say that?" It's a different actor, but you could tell it's supposed to be him.
Right,
He's like,
right.
Get away from me! And it was what it was like it was in the movie.
In the movie,
I
sure,
enjoyed
sure.
it. Okay. Well, anyway, moving on to my next pick, because we're doing this by release order, so we're not switching off tonight. I'm going to go ahead and go with The Curse of the Werewolf from 1961. Have you heard of this movie?
Is this one of the Hammer horror films?
It is, and it is the only Hammer werewolf movie.
I do have the Mego Curse of the werewolf figure.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize they made one. This is no Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee this time around. You'd have Oliver Reed, though, who got his start in Hammer movies.
Right.
And he's in this. And this is the oddest werewolf movie, one of the oddest I've ever seen.
It is pretty strange, yeah.
This did not start out as a werewolf movie. They had built these sets. They had gotten the costumes made. They were going to do a movie about the Spanish Inquisition. That was what they were planning to do.
But who expects the Spanish Inquisition?
Of course, yes. Apparently the British Film Board read the script. They said, "You ain't making this movie." I don't know how gory or disturbing that movie was going to be, but they weren't able to make it. So, but they said, "We already have all these Spanish sets of Spanish costumes. What do we do?" I know. We'll make a werewolf movie. Set it in Spain. All right.
Sure, why not?
I have not seen this one for a while, and I didn't have time to rewatch before the thing because it's actually you can actually get this in a fairly inexpensive Hammer DVD set where it comes with this and 7 other movies. But half man, half wolf, The Curse of the Werewolf, and this now we're in color. But it's that nice Hammer kind of Technicolor look to it, so I still think it looks good. There's Oliver Reed. Let me
see. They knew how to do it as a period piece. You looked at this and you didn't say, "Oh, this is taking place in the 1950s." You were like, "No, this took place in like the early 1900s or whatever it was."
No, well, this is supposed to be what 16th century or 17th century Spain.
Oh, okay, there you
I
go.
don't know. I don't know if it's accurate. Okay, let me go ahead and read. I'm going to cheat here a bit because I had to have, where the heck is it? Oh, hold on. Give me a moment. Sorry about that. Hold on.
Did you
Oh, here
lose
it is.
your
I
note?
have it. I have it up. Okay. I did have ChatGPT do a summary. I know that's cheating, but it's been a while because because this is complicated. This is the most complicated origin for a werewolf I ever known. It's not simple like a werewolf went and bit somebody, therefore you become a werewolf. That's not how it works in this movie, all right? Do you want to hear it?
How does it work? Yes, how does it work?
So Curse of the Werewolf opens 18th century Spain with a grim tale of cruelty and injustice. A beggar wandering to the castle of a sadistic nobleman on his wedding day is humiliated, imprisoned, and forgotten. Over the years, the beggar is left to rot in the dungeons, losing his mind and humanity. His only contact with kindness comes from the jailer's mute daughter, who secretly cares for him. Eventually, when she is grown, the nobleman assaults her, and in desperation, she turns to the beggar for comfort. Their union results in her escape, but she is soon assaulted by the nobleman himself before she kills him and flees the castle. So I'm assuming the assault just means like fisticuffs and not the other thing that we can't see on YouTube. Whereas I think the union with the beggar means something else. That maybe they became a union of sorts, if you catch my meaning, okay? And maybe she became pregnant with child. So then she ran off, wandered into the countryside, and was rescued by a kind scholar, Don Alfredo Corledo, who takes her into his home. However, her suffering has left her gravely ill, and she dies shortly after giving birth to a son, Leon. Don Alfredo and his housekeeper, Teresa, raise the boy as their own, but from the very beginning, Leon's life is marked by strange signs. On his baptism day, the church bells ring ominously, and the priest senses a dark destiny surrounding the child. Now, it's not in this summary, but I think the idea was there's something like says, "Oh, well, you can't be born or you have to be baptized, or it was some weird thing. I think it was born. You can't be born on Christmas. This boy cannot be born on Christmas because that'll bring a curse on it because he can't share the same day as Christ or
It's
something.
Christ, yeah.
It makes no sense. I don't know where they got this from unless this is some old Spanish lore. I don't
know
know
if it's Spanish or not, but that is part of the old werewolf lore.
Oh, it is.
Yes, it is. There was all kinds of weird potential for being cursed if you were born on certain saints' days and so forth.
Plenty of people are born on Christmas and they don't become werewolves. Okay, I'm just saying.
Well, it helps if you're the 13th son of a 13th son. But
oh, I see. The 13th son, 13th, you're immune from that curse. Okay, right. Anyway, so as Leo grows, his adopted parents notice troubling behavior. He sometimes acts out violently, especially around animals, and his moods are tied to the phases of the moon. So now I think they're bringing in that whole full moon makes some people go nuts thing, right?
Right, exactly.
When he is still a boy, one Christmas night, he transforms for the first time, killing sheep in the ferals. Okay, Don, Alfred, and Teresa consult a priest who explains that Leon was cursed at birth due to his mother's tragic circumstances and conception under violence. Maybe she was assaulted by the nobleman. I don't know.
Exactly by violence. Exactly.
Okay, maybe. I see. So it was because
which is a similar kind of thing to the whole way that Freddy Krueger comes into the world. You know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's one of the later movies gets into his
so
mother being
because
mother
of the
being
way
a violated nun, and
okay.
Yeah.
That's disturbing. That's
yes,
very disturbing. Okay, in an attempt to protect him, Leon is guided with strict discipline, love, and moral teachings. As he becomes a man, Leon, played by Oliver Reed in his first starring role, struggles with duality in him. He longs to live a normal life and experiences genuine love when he meets Christina, the daughter of a wealthy landowner. Her kindness seems to soothe his darker urges, giving him hope that he might control the curse. However, Leon also takes work at a nearby winery where he is exposed to coarser influences, including men who mock him and tempt him toward vice. The full moon unleashes Leon's wolf nature again, and he goes on a rampage, killing innocent townspeople. Authorities soon connect him to the brutal murders. Despite his desperate pleas for restraint and his warnings about the curse, Leon is arrested. His beloved Christina tries to save him, insisting that her love can keep his humanity intact, but the violence within him grows too powerful to contain. In prison, Leon undergoes his most terrifying transformation yet, fully becoming a wolf-like beast. Let me show you the makeup here. Okay.
Yeah.
That's Leon, normal Leon. I don't know if that's Christina or somebody else. Okay, moving on to... There he is. Look at that, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's
not
right.
Bad. I mean, you know.
That's how it was done in... Look at the blood on his mouth. That's very Hammer horror blood.
You
looked
know
like tempera paint.
Well, you know why, though? Because Hammer pushed the envelope by showing the blood on screen with the horror.
Oh.
They didn't do that, or even at Universal, it might have been black and white. This is first red blood, like I think it was the Horror of Dracula, where the blood is dripping on the coffin in the title credits. That was a sign to say, no, we are pushing the envelope. And I know we look at it now and said, oh, big deal. But back then it was a big deal.
Right.
So in the tragic climax, well, you know what? I won't spoil it for you, but how do you think this is going to end? There's going to be a mob trying to hunt him down on a rooftop of church. John Alfred Hallbroken takes him a rifle. Knowing that death can free Leon from a storm, he shoots his adopted son, ending his suffering. Film closes on a somber note, underscoring themes of fate, cruelty, and doom, struggle between man's humanity and his darker primal instincts. Okay, I spoiled the movie. You ever see it?
Yep.
Yes, I absolutely have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Oliver Reed's a good actor. He could play... In fact, he was Bill Sykes, I believe, in the Oliver musical movie, right?
Yes, he was. Yep.
But a good movie. He actually, you see Oliver Reed show up in other Hammer movies, but he shows up in more of the thrillers, more so than the horror movies. I mean, the thrillers were their own animal. They kind of had like a feel of like British versions of Psycho, things like that. But
yep.
Yeah. But check out Curse of the Werewolf. Any thoughts on this?
No, I will admit this is one of my dimmer memories. This was another one that I saw on. Yeah. If it wasn't Svengoolie, it was on like a Saturday afternoon horror, or maybe it was
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon kind of a thing.
It was
It,
Ben
it,
Julie. We watched it together.
Did we? Okay.
it makes the list because, frankly, it's Hammer's only werewolf movie, and I had to put a Hammer movie on here because it's Hammer, and it's
Right.
good. It's still good. I like it. It's in my top 5. I'll put it in my top 5. I have another pick here. Sorry, it's front loaded with mine just because that's on release date. Next up is The Beast Must Die, 1974. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it. I don't have clear memory of it.
This is a Amicus production. Amicus were sort of the rival Hammer studio. I felt their
Right.
movies never had quite the budget the Hammer movies had because they usually took place in modern times, whereas Hammer could make theirs period. In fact, I remembered one called The Skull by Amicus and was like, wow, I didn't think Amicus typically did movies that they're getting the early 1960s London down pat, and I realized, oh, that's because it was made in early 1960s.
Yeah.
Because I see all the cars and I'm like, wow, this looks like a period piece. And I'm like, no, it's not a period piece. That's when it was made. That's why I had to read.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, Beast Must Die, still a good movie. Peter Cushing's in it, and
Yes.
also some other actors. I believe the guy that played Blofeld in one of the Bond movies is in this too. The idea behind this is a whodunit. This is a whodunit where they've gathered. In fact, this is my other summary because unfortunately I didn't have access to this one either, but I will read a little bit from that as well. Beast Must Die begins with the narrator introducing the audience to a murder mystery with a supernatural twist. Somewhere among the characters is a werewolf, and by that end, viewers will be challenged to solve the riddle themselves. Yes, you will be. At some point in the movie, toward the end, there is a werewolf break. You have to discuss with your friends or whatever, gather your evidence, and figure out who the werewolf is among these guests, because everyone's a suspect in this. The film follows millionaire Tom Newcliffe, that's the gentleman in the middle, a wealthy big game hunter who has grown bored of traditional prey and now seeks the ultimate challenge, a werewolf. He invites a group of guests to a secluded English estate under the pretense of a weekend gathering, but secretly he believes that one of them hides a monstrous secret. Let me show you the main character too. Actually, I'll say this, a black protagonist too. So you don't see that too often in these Gothic pictures. So not another reason to watch. And he's the one that wants to find out who the werewolf is. And he has all these suspects here, and he basically lays out. It's kind of like an Agatha Christie dinner, like I don't want to say Murdered by Death because that was a comedy, where you're laying out reasons for each one of these people being the werewolf.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you were in this certain spot where this murder happened. Okay, so he invites a group of guests to secluded English estate. The guests include varied mix of intellectuals, eccentric Professor Lundgren, an academic expert on werewolves, Jan and Davin Gilmore, a pianist and his wife, Paul Foote, a disgraced painter with a criminal past, Bennington, a diplomat, and Pavel, a mysterious figure with a vague background. Newcliffe, aided by his wife Caroline and his tech-savvy assistant, has set up a high-tech surveillance system throughout the estate, intending to monitor the guests closely. He explains to them that he is certain that one of them is a werewolf, and his mission is to discover and kill the beast. And it says, naturally, the guests are skeptical and disturbed by Newcliffe's obsession. However, he insists on putting them through the various tests. One involves placing silver bullets in front of each person to see if anyone reacts with fear or revulsion. Another test occurs during a dinner gathering where he observes their behavior under the full moon. As the tension builds, strange occurrences begin. Livestock is found slaughtered on these state grounds, and evidence suggests that a werewolf truly is among them. And like I said, there is a werewolf test, werewolf break during the movie where you get to pick out and decide for yourself who is the werewolf, and then you'll see if you were right.
It makes me think that this might be the inspiration for that party game Secret Werewolf.
I think so too. I don't know if that predates the movie or if this movie inspired it, but that's what it reminds me of. It's a very popular party game where you try to figure out who the werewolf is, right? So it's a twist on the murder mystery. Instead of the murderer, it's like who's the werewolf, which I guess a werewolf is a killer. So yeah, but not bad.
It's like the game Among Us. You gotta figure out who the traitor is.
Yeah, that's a video game version of that. So that's basically true. Yeah.
But good movie, another good British werewolf movie. I recommend, and yeah. So the British used to make movies. They would sell over the world. It was a lovely time. Britain.
Not only did they used to make movies, they used to make really good movies. Now, I don't know so much.
Well, I don't know.
Well, at least they don't make good TV anymore. I don't know about movies.
Actually, I'll say this: I did do an article for Geeky Geezers a while back where I said that Amicus was coming back and they were doing an anthology movie. I should check up on that to see how they're doing because
Yeah.
I'd like to see Amicus make a return. They Amicus made some good movies. Typically, they didn't do features. They did like The House That Dripped Blood, where there'll be 4 different Robert Bloch short stories adapted, and there'd be like a framing story, like a Tales from the Crypt type movie. In fact, they did a Tales from the Crypt movie actually. Never got around to this one. The lead actor was in Wild at Heart for about 3 minutes. Okay, good to know.
And welcome the 13th child. We were just talking about the werewolf legend regarding a 13th child of a 13th child. Anyway, yeah.
Good little movie.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to The Howling, 1981. 1981 must have been the year for werewolf movies because we have 3. Some in the chat might argue my last pick is not truly a werewolf movie, but I would argue back that yes, it is, or it's close enough. It's got wolves. Okay, anyway.
It's got wolves. Yes.
The Howling. First off, let's look at this poster. Holy cow, that's creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Tonight, your worst fear of reality. Whoa! Imagine your worst fear of reality. Excuse me. Imagine your worst fear.
This is a very classic horror movie poster. This one is one that you remember. Starring, of course, the very, very lovely Dee Wallace.
Yes.
Who would go on to be Elliot's mother in E.T., among other things.
And in this movie, she turns into a puppy.
Yes, well, we'll get to that. We're gonna have to talk about the ending. I'm sorry, because that ending is what made this movie might be my favorite werewolf movie. Just
it does. I agree with you 100%. Yes.
You are all assumed I am not a werewolf. Well,
you can all be assured I am not a werewolf. Yes.
Okay.
Just being a 13th child doesn't make you a werewolf. Just talking about the lore.
But look at that. Look at that.
Welcome, Curtis Selby.
That poster, if you think about it, now that I'm looking at it, this is from the point of view from the werewolf. You see the clawed wood, and you see someone screaming behind it. You're seeing things from the werewolf's point of view, I think.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting.
So this is very creepy. As you said, Dee Wallace is in this movie. And starts out like she's trying to track down, so she's a reporter who has, I guess, like a stalker who's obsessed with her, and he's also a murderer going around town killing various women, I think. And he tracks her down to like an adult peep show place, and you find out that something's different about this killer than what we're used to. He says, "I want to show you something," and she freaks out. And then the cops show up on the scene, and one guy just starts shooting at him, shoots him dead, right? So then they're like, okay. But she saw something that she can't remember what she saw. She blacked it out, right?
Right.
And part of me almost thinks that the movie almost did a disservice with the title, where maybe, I don't know, maybe there should have been more mystery as to what she saw in the beginning, right? But I guess...
Right.
Yeah.
Knowing going into it that it's a werewolf movie, kind of,
I think if they had inched it up and not revealed that early on, it might have been more of a surprise. Later on, we find out, but that's all right. There are other surprises in this movie. This is a group therapy session she goes to, and she's trying to go under hypnosis. Who's the actor that played John Steed in the original Avengers series?
That was
Patrick McNewan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in this as a psychoanalyst guru type guy. Patrick McNee. Yeah, he's like a guru type.
Right.
Like New Age psychobabble. He has he has a retreat that he only sends select people to go to. So he has, good old D. Go bring your husband. Come down to the retreat. We'll help you out. And there's more to the retreat than meets the eye, right? It's not just a bunch of hippies or something, right? Or New Age types. It's
exactly.
There's some creepy stuff. There's old man John Carradine dancing around like a weirdo.
Yeah. There's Elizabeth Brooks, who plays the role of Marcia Quist, who wow. just wow.
I,
You know,
I kept wanting to call her Morticia Adams or something.
kinda. Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
got
she's
that kind
giving
of a
off a
vibe to her.
Morticia Adams vibe.
Hmm.
And this is like in a movie like where there's like a witch's coven and you're wondering, or like there's a witch and you're wondering who's a members of the coven, like who's going
Right.
on, and then you find out, well, I think it's just about everybody. And
Yep.
that's like this werewolf group. I mean,
Yep.
it's interesting because you have the other reporters that she works with are doing investigations into this killer
Right.
whose body mysteriously disappears in the morgue, almost like he climbed out and walked away on his own. But
Yep.
how's that possible? Because, of course, when he was shot, it wasn't with silver bullets, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So that was the actor was Don McLeod. He plays, yeah, like you said, the stalker, who I believe was T.C. Quist. He was, of course, related to Marcia, the Elizabeth Brooks character. So you start to kind of get, you know,
Yeah.
where all this is going. Great appearance, by the way, of Dick Miller. You remember from Gremlins. Remember, he served in WWII.
I thought
You
that was
know,
Abe Vigoda.
I don't know that Abe Vigoda was in this. No.
I might be confusing him with a different actor. Never mind. Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, he was in it, and he's the one that has the shop where he sells all the old stuff, and he's talking about werewolves, about how you kill werewolves. Says, do you believe
Yep.
this
Yep.
stuff? What do you think? I'm just trying to sell you on this stuff. And then some weirdo said made a bunch of silver bullets, and he never picked them up. And part of me thinks, I
Right.
bet some kook ordered silver bullets because he knew about werewolves, and then a werewolf got him before he was able to pick them up. I think that's
That
probably what
does
happened.
seem to be the implied backstory. Yes, that
And they don't
absolutely
even
is.
explain that, but I'm like, in my mind, it's like, no, this probably wasn't a kook. This was probably a guy that figured out there really are
Exactly.
werewolves
In
out
fact,
there. Yeah.
there is a plot point in another movie we'll get to later on that plays out very much like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you realize, and who knows, there could be other werewolves besides this Titan. There could be werewolves elsewhere in the world. One thing interesting about horror stories, I remember reading Dracula's Guest, which was also written by Bram Stoker.
Yes.
You realize, oh,
Yes.
there are other horrible things in the world of Dracula besides Dracula himself. When you read that story, there are other vampires.
Exactly.
There's other there were wolf-like creatures in that story. There's
Yep.
disturbing stuff. So it's not just what we're dealing with here. It's also what else is out there.
Hmm.
Yeah, her husband gets a little too into this cult in the area
Yeah.
and basically gets
Well,
indoctrinated in.
let's face
It's
it.
not really his fault, I guess, is it?
Yeah, he's thinking with the wrong head. Elizabeth Brooks again. I'm gonna say, right?
Well, he fights it off originally. He does. He when she tries kissing him, she's like, "No," and then like I don't know if she just kind of. But again,
But
he's already been attacked
here
by the
is
werewolf
the
thing.
this is where the not so very subtle nuance of story comes in. You have these primal urges, right? Which is exactly what temptation is, right? Every time you get in a religious sense, you talk about temptation, giving into
Yes.
sin, you're giving into primal instincts. You should be above that, whether that's on a spiritual level or a social level, we believe that we're higher than the animals, that we are able to tame our baser instincts. But these kinds of werewolf films are literally dealing with exactly that. How, especially if you're repressing, eventually, you've got to eventually deal with those things, and they tend to take over.
Yeah. I just don't know. But yeah, I don't want to. Do we want to fast forward to the ending? Do I want to spoil the ending here for those ends? I think I.
This is a fairly old movie at this point, and
Okay.
it really is worth.
They
Yeah.
managed to escape. They set some of them on fire. There's a full on, and there's some grody effects in this. Like there's
Yeah,
some.
there are.
I know American Werewolf in London has great werewolf effects too, but this one also had some very impressive werewolf transformation effects. And I remember when Patrick McNee gets shot by the silver bullet, he says, "Oh, thank God," because I don't think he liked being there or being a werewolf. I thought
Exactly.
was interesting. He's like, "Look, let this end."
Right.
They get out of there. You find out the local sheriff is in on it. He's probably a werewolf too. And these werewolves are
Yeah.
odd. In fact, I think they can transform whenever they want and during the day.
Right.
Right? I don't think they need the full moon. But they are susceptible to getting set on fire and also the silver bullets. So
It is implied
yeah,
that they do generally reserve themselves to the nighttime because they're trying to
secrecy.
keep trying to keep secrets and whatnot. But yeah,
But yeah, good good movie.
makeup effects by the great Rick
Rick
Baker.
Baker, yeah. What
Keep
did
that
he
in mind. We'll get back to him
Oh,
later on.
interesting. Did he do
Oh yeah.
both? We'll get to that. Never mind. Okay. The ending, though, I do want to bring up the ending because
Go for it. You have
she's
to.
been bit. She knows she's a werewolf. She's with a reporter friend who also knows the truth. Says we have to expose this for the world. They get on the station, whose their newsroom is run by the same guy that ran the network in UHF. It may be the same character, that actor from who Invaders of the Body Snatchers. I forget the actor's name, but and she gets on there and she just starts explaining, how there's a darkness out there, blah blah, and then suddenly she starts to transform, and then you see the reaction of various people's watching their TVs, seeing this woman transform into a werewolf live on air.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very telling how you see the kids and they're just saying, wow, the news lady's transforming into a werewolf. You see this one Mexican guy say, well, he's like, what the heck is going on?
He
You see
literally
some-
no.
yeah.
We
Oh,
watched
you did translate it. Okay, great.
We did watch the scene again last
Yeah.
night, and
Okay, great.
And the subtitles write it out in Spanish, and I'm like, I pause, and I'm not that fluent, so I had to stop and think. I'm like, oh, he literally said the woman turned into a wolf.
There are
It's
some people that accept it. Then you have one guy at the bar and he says, oh, it's crazy what they can do with special effects these days. And this guy next says, what are you talking about? That woman turned to a werewolf. You're too drunk. And I'm realizing people could see, and I've made a point that there are people that could probably see a miracle happen right in front of them or something
Right.
more demonic right in front of them, and they won't accept it, even though they saw it right in front of them.
So we have to
That
back up.
was what
because
I got from this movie. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of nuance that you missed there.
Probably.
When now I'm forgetting her name.
Who? I'm gonna look up
The characters. I'm trying to remember the character's name. So when
Wallace.
Karen,
Okay.
Karen and William
Karen, yes.
escape, right?
Yes.
They have to get and they're both in the news industry and whatnot. So she gets in front of the camera, and as she's getting ready, she's clearly very nervous. There's an earlier setup where she kind of froze on camera. So Kevin
Yes.
McCarthy,
Kevin McCarthy, that's the actor's name. Yes,
again, Kevin McCarthy, who mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it. It's like the guy's always working in a newsroom, for crying out loud. Anyway,
Yeah.
he is like, if she shows any sign of freezing up again, you cut away. Well, it turns out that Bill is there to make sure they don't turn away from her. And so as soon as she starts, and as she's getting ready, Bill says to her, we don't have to do this. She goes, yeah, we do. We have to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah. Well, he also, unfortunately,
And you realize that, I mean, if you're really paying attention, you can kind of guess what's coming. But then when she's on there, and I think she goes a little long and melodramatic with what she's saying, but what she basically gets down to is, I have something that I have to show you. And then she begins turning into a werewolf. And the effects on this are different from any of the other werewolves that you see in this. When her stalker turns into a werewolf, the Don McLeod character, by the way, if you don't remember from this movie, when he changes, just think about Michael Jackson in Thriller. They are identical, almost identical transformation scene. Again, because it was Rick Baker, but this was where those effects were first done. Hers are very, very different. She starts by getting these golden, shines in her eyes, and she stands up, and she's obviously in pain. She screams this scream of pain that morphs into a howl, and I'm like, this girl is selling it. Dee Wallace is an incredible actress. Her eyes turn this bright aqua blue, and again, very clear that she's in pain. The hair starts to grow in, and she turns and looks towards the sound booth, and there's this tear coming down her eye because she knows what's coming. And she eventually turns into a wolf. And Netter, you want to give your reaction to this wolf transformation?
She turns into a puppy.
She does. She ends up looking like a puppy. It is not a fearful werewolf. It is a, aw, she's so pretty.
She's a yip dog.
She does look like a yip
She's like
dog.
a little Shih Tzu.
She is not supposed to look scary. You are supposed to sympathize with her because what then happens, Boomer?
Her friend has to shoot her with a silver bullet, and then the guy cuts to a dog food commercial, the Kevin McCarthy character.
That is the most, oh gosh. It's like you're sitting there and you're like, you are so shaken because Dee Wallace just gave this incredible performance. You are heartbroken over her getting killed. She's shot, cut to commercial, and it's a dog food commercial. And you're like, that is terrible.
And that's why the guy in the bar said, wow, these CG effects are really great.
Yeah, that does make it seem all the more plausible that it wasn't real. But here's my thought on it. Oh. And then the last scene. Mm-hmm. The last scene, of course, is the guy that says, by the way, I'll have a hamburger and whatever the lady wants. She says, I'll take mine.
No, he wants a pepper steak. And a hamburger for the lady.
And a hamburger.
How do you want it? And she says, rare.
Right, and it is of course Elizabeth Brooks, and she looks into camera as she says it. It's sexy and creepy at the same time.
Yeah, meaning there will be more werewolves out there. Yes. So
and there are multiple sequels to this movie. In fact, I believe Sybil Danning ended up playing in like the third or fourth movie.
I hear that some of them are of varying quality. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, you're not wrong about that. But
I mean, yeah, but yeah.
I would recommend, and this one is on Tubi as well. Go ahead and check it out. Hell, if you have to, just skip to the end for Dee Wallace's scene. It's heartbreaking. It really is.
I'm beginning to think that Tubi is where you go to see all bad movies.
Well, all cheap movies, basically. Ones that aren't
a cheap movie for the time.
For the time, it wasn't, but now it's. Although it is from Shout Factory, you can get it now on Blu-ray. So.
And if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can actually watch it on there also without commercials, so you have it there too. But I guess we're now almost at the halfway point. Did you want to go to commercial?
Yes, I do have an abbreviated promos, and then we will come back and get. What, do we get to mine then?
I have one more. Then it's all you.
You have one more? Okay, fair enough. Give us just under 3 minutes. We'll be right back. That gives me a chance to refill my glass. See you on the other side.
You are watching Last Call, streaming every Friday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Come on in, pull up a chair, and have a drink with us.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Sissy Spacek stars in the story of a lonely teenage girl who possesses a strange and evil power that turns a high school prom into a nightmare. This chilling blend of American Graffiti and Psycho is a psychokinetic, bone-chilling classic based on the novel by Stephen King, Carrie. This week on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
In a world where nearly all the entertainment is remakes, reboots, and rehashes of older properties, maybe it's worth it to get some commentary from people who experienced it all when it was novel and fresh. Catch Boomer and Pacelli on Geeky Geezers every Sunday night at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
Dive into the eerie, surreal world of Twin Peaks with us every Tuesday. Join passionate superfans as we unravel mysteries, decode Lynchian symbolism, and sip some damn fine coffee together. Whether you're a Black Lodge veteran or a curious newcomer, our live discussions on YouTube and X will keep you hooked. Come join the conversation. Who killed Laura Palmer? Let's find out together on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates every Tuesday evening at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern.
Avon must take drastic action to save the crew, with Scorpio trapped by the atmosphere of the green planet Vern, and Tarrant and Servalan stranded together on the planet's surface, held captive by vampire Sand. This week on Last Call presents Blake's 7, 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
Did you top off your glasses? We now return to Last Call.
So I was just talking with a Boomer behind the scenes as the promos were playing, and he had the same reaction I have. Did she say vampire sand? Yes, vampire sand. You know, that gritty stuff that gets everywhere and is coarse, and Anakin Skywalker hates it. Yes, vampire sand. And I'm like, At what point did they start just taking, adjectives and verbs and just, take them randomly and throw them together? The evil creature of the week is going to be vampiric sand. Okay, next week it'll be Frankenstein pencils.
You do real, yeah. Well, it reminds me of when Hammer had to come up with a title for their fourth Mummy movie, and they said, "Well, what are words we always use? Let's use blood, tomb. Yeah, blood from the mummy's tomb. There you go." Okay, I'm not joking. That's how they came up with the title. There's,
I know.
I figure they got two bowls.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Adjectives and
Two.
verb
Yeah.
and nouns.
Take one from one bowl, one from the other. Okay, we're gonna have werewolf square dancing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. No, but in all fairness, there's a lot of great Blake 7 episodes, but as soon as the name Tanith Lee comes up, it's going to be a weird, trippy, bizarre story.
Hey, I like Tanith Lee.
I like Tanith Lee too when she's writing the lesbian vampire stories. When she's writing Blake 7 episodes, it's just weird as all crap.
Honey, I think she's dead. She's not writing anything else.
Well, nothing against her, Anyway, Wolfen.
Do you know this movie?
I, of course, know this movie. Absolutely.
This is interesting. I suspect this is one of these movies where I should really read the book, because I'm sure the book goes into even more detail. This is based on a horror novel by Whitley Strieber, who later, according to his accounts, got abducted by aliens, and then he wrote a book about it. Remember?
Yes.
Communion. But before that, he was writing like thrillers and horror novels, and this is Wolfen.
Right.
And what's the tagline for this? What does it say? Darn it!
Let me see.
Bring it up. I'll make it big. Hold on. They can hear a cloud pass overhead, the rhythm of your blood. They can track you by yesterday's shadow. They can tear the scream from your throat. Wolfen, there is no defense. Okay. I mean, come on.
Well, there you go.
This is interesting. Some people are probably in the chat going to be like, well, this isn't a werewolf movie. I say yes, it is. It's got supernatural beings in wolf-like form. You have American Indians talking about, the
skinwalkers.
The skinwalking, and one guy even starts acting like a wolf, but I think that's a red herring because it's not actually him.
There's Haitian voodoo.
Is there Haitian voodoo in this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall. I was watching this last night. Albert Finney's in this, who I know from the Scrooge musical, but I realized that he probably wasn't as old as Scrooge in that movie. That was probably makeup. So here he is in this, playing a tough New York cop. There's great. Oh, hold on. There it is. Okay.
What'd you do?
It made me disappear on my end. You're fine.
Yeah.
You can see it, right? Okay. There's Gregory Hines as
Gregory Hines. That's right.
I think of him, big Broadway star, big in the tap dancing, right? But here he is playing a coroner in this movie.
Yep.
A lot of character actors in this movie that you'd know from other movies of the period too. But what happens is a rich man, basically they're not going to say you could tell the equivalent name, like one of the Vanderbilts gets murdered, right?
Right.
Even though it's not a Vanderbilt, but it's like of that high caliber family gets murdered, and they're like, who did it? And they're thinking it might have been like something ist organization or something with Terror in the Bunt, or it might have been I guess I can say that word now on YouTube, I don't know, or it could have been a they're not sure who did it, but of course the problem is these attacks. Well, whatever he was attacked with, it was a knife. There's no metal residue, and Gregory Hines is saying, "Look, even if you stab someone with a knife, there's going to be something left behind, right?
Right.
Some indication that it was a knife. There's none of that here." And of course, they realize it's probably beasts, but of course, there are no wolves in New York City, right? This doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I think there's come a point where they could believe just about anything could be in New York City. People do smuggle animals into New York all the time. They've gotten to the point where it's like, we think this was a bear attack. Yeah, that's entirely possible, I suppose.
You mind if I bring up a comment here? Wolfen does feature a James Horner score. Yes, it does. And it's funny because I meant to look that up, but I'm like, I know James Horner did this score because it has.
Welcome, Sashi. We will be getting to Dog Soldiers very shortly.
Yes, but you're spoiling the list, dude.
Well, I know. I don't want to keep people waiting when they're already guessing. And I do want to bring up the 13th child says, applying science to mythology, a silver bullet would not kill a werewolf because in order for the silver bullet to render a werewolf lifeless, it must be pure. Once mixed with gunpowder, it is no longer pure. Well, here is where the mythology comes in. It's this idea that certain metals have a certain impact on different kinds of creatures. For example, cold steel or iron is deadly to the Fey folk,
yes,
to fairies. Obviously, certain kinds of wood, like rosewood, is dangerous to vampires. It's not so much about the purity or how it's delivered, it's the spirit of the thing. There's also when you're talking about mythology, when you're talking about spiritual things, symbolism is actually more important than the reality. So, for example, I mean, a great example of this is the whole vampire thing that they bring up in what was that one with Chris Sarandon?
Fright Night.
Fright Night, right? Where the actor holds up the cross and he just grabs it and says, "You've got to have faith for this to work." It's not just the cross itself; it's actually the faith, imbued on it. By the same token, it's not the silver itself that kills the werewolf, but it's spiritual analog in the 30 pieces of silver that were given to Judas for selling out Christ.
Plus, the gunpowder is not in the head of the bullet that's going to be striking the werewolf. It's the gunpowder is in the shell.
That's an excellent point. It would leave carbon scoring on the backside of the bullet, but the head of the bullet is not even in the casing when it is fired out. Now, you could get there's gun oil and that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. That doesn't depurify the silver. In fact, it's not even so much about the actual purity of the metal in terms of chemistry. It's more about the sacrifice made, the value of the metal. When I believe it wasn't it the first movie, the Larry Talbot one? No, the Larry Talbot one. It was the stick. I think it's the movie Silver Bullet, where they had to melt down somebody's pendant that was made of silver, and it had so much value, but they were willing to sacrifice it because they had to stop this evil. That imbues it with a certain a level of strength. You always see this in these spiritual type of films, right? The mother's love for the child overcomes all the other odds, or a reliance on God drives out the demons, or whatever it is. The self-sacrifice, giving your life to save somebody else, defeats the thing that you shouldn't be able to defeat, whatever. I would even argue there's no way Darth Vader should have been able to kill Palpatine, but it was his conviction that I'm going to save my son and sacrifice myself in doing so that he was able to overthrow Palpatine. Not that actually happened, because somehow Palpatine came back. That's a story for another day. Let's move on.
Oh, you still haven't seen Rise of Skywalker. I forgot. You know
F
enough. I
that
know.
movie. F.
Anyway, moving on to a good.
You mean the rise of Palpatine?
Okay.
I want to welcome returning member. He was gifted a member earlier today. Outlaw Bill, welcome to the stream. Good to see you.
He was
my
mentioning
friend.
we haven't gotten to a certain movie you mentioned, but I'm not going to tell you what. Oh, yeah, okay.
We've got a bunch of movies we're getting to. We
have 10. We couldn't do them
we
all.
didn't,
There are other ones that we've made.
although we
mention if
didn't
have time.
talk about it, we did mention Wolfman 2 when we talked about the original Universal.
Yeah, we did bring it up a little bit, but and that almost made it onto the list. That was one of Troy's runner-ups. But,
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Here we have, but this is Wolf, and I picked this one. I find it unique. Because you have Albert Finney doing an American accent. No, wait, no, never mind. That's not why. We have.
It is unique in that regard. True.
It's just odd, and of course, he's trying to investigate, and he does start trying to tie this into old,
folklore,
Indian myths about skinwalkers and whatnot. He talks to some of them who are not too receptive to him because, of course, you took our land, blah blah. You know what I'm saying? They're not too happy with him, and apparently, though, or at least what he represents. But apparently, what we're learning is that, and they know what's going on. But they're not the ones causing it. They just know what's going on. They think that these are what old native gods or spirits or something of the wolves.
Right.
And these things in the past would come, and I guess they would eat the livestock or feed on them or do stuff. But when, of course, New York City got built, they lost that territory. But I think what these things did instead was they would go feed on people society wouldn't miss, like the homeless or things like that, derelicts. But
right.
Now, in fact, I often wonder if there's a class thing because basically now they're tearing down those derelict buildings and they're going to put high rises, make it a rich area, and these wolf spirits don't like that. They're very upset with this, so now they're going around attacking people.
It's very clear that when you start getting into stories involving Native American folklore and stuff, you're going to start getting into the Native American history and colonization, all that kind of stuff. So.
Sure. But I think they handle it well in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And what's Gregory Hines in this part? I think he's talking about the French Revolution. How they used to, when they used to behead people, you would pick up the head to see some heads. The human head can, or the brain can survive without oxygen for a minute or something. So. Imagine seeing your own body with your severed head or something.
He is actually that is actually based on things that actually happened. A little bit parodied in Princess Bride. The whole torture scene. Remember, This is for science, so tell me everything that you experience and so forth. There was, and I'm forgetting names, but there was a criminal who was about to be beheaded in France, and the doctor said, you're going to serve your sentence. You are going to die, but you have an opportunity to help science if you can, show me some kind of sign. If after your beheading, if you can blink to let me know that, and it did blink. He picks up the head, and the head has a look of horror on its face, and he blinked. This does not meet the scientific method, of course, because did he blink because there was consciousness there, or did he blink because of a muscle spasm, a death spasm or whatever? There have also been inadvertent experiments, not intentional experiments, of people who were hooked up to EEGs as they die. So there's been a lot of study anecdotally regarding death and things like that. But in theory, what he's saying is true. The idea that you literally have about 3 minutes of oxygenation in your brain. If you stop breathing, or if your head is cut or whatever, in theory, your brain can live for 3 minutes. But there are a lot of criteria that mollify that. For example, most people, when they instantly lose their heads, or they lose that much blood, or whatever, go immediately into shock. So you don't have consciousness. Even if the brain is alive for 3 more minutes, it's probably not conscious for 3 minutes. So, but you never know. And that is part of the horror of the whole concept of such an execution.
It comes into play later on in the movie when one of the detectives and Alfred is like, "Don't
Take
do
care,
anything."
Sashi.
And of course, the guy, he brings his gun out, and the wolf knocks his hand off. He gets in his car. Then, at some point, his head gets lopped off by one of the wolf spirits, and you actually see his head react as it's severed.
Right.
So it's like,
oh, so it's
like
the
a little
setup
hint.
and the payoff.
It's a
I like
setup
that,
later,
yeah.
which I wasn't expecting. I just thought this was idle chatter Gregory Hines was making, and then no, it actually has a payoff later in the movie.
Yeah.
But that's sort of one of the wolf creatures.
Tell me that's not a werewolf. That is a damn werewolf.
It's close enough. I mean, it's not a man turning into a wolf, even though they were kind of playing around because, like, the guy saying, "Hey, you guys, you can do the skin wolf." Oh yeah, could you turn it? Yeah, we try. I for fun. It kicks every night. We go and we turn to animals, and he says, "Like a wolf? Yeah, or an eagle. You want to jump off here with me? It's all mind over matter." Like he's trying to get the cop to jump off the bridge,
right?
You know,
right,
and it's
right,
like.
Right.
It's an interesting movie. Whitley Strieber wrote it. Siskel and Ebert both liked this one a lot. In fact, it's funny. I was reading up the reviews of Siskel and Ebert from some of these. They were split on The Howling. Oddly enough, Ebert said this is a high quality movie, but it just wasn't scary for me or something. Whereas Gene Siskel loved it. So it's almost like Ebert gave it thumbs down, but he still admitted if you like this kind of movie, you'll probably like The Howling. That's what he said. So
yeah.
And this they both gave thumbs up to. And the next one they gave thumbs up to as well. But anything left to say on this?
Nope, that's all I got.
Whitley Strieber, though, interesting character. We may talk about him someday when we talk about alien abductions.
Aliens again. Yeah. Welcome, the Horror King.
An American Werewolf in London. This was going to be on the list. It had to be.
That's
you knew
right.
it was going to be on the list. This was your
members are currently voting on what movie we're going to be watching on Monday, and by a long margin, American Werewolf in London is winning. Last I looked, it was like 75%. And I can't blame you. I would vote for this one just for Jenny Agutter. Just saying. I mean, you know.
It's funny.
I think Lon Chaney's should be the winner.
Well, I understand that, but there you go.
It's a good one. The interesting thing, I remember hearing on some horror podcast, listen to once, you're either a howling person or a howling guy or an American Werewolf in London guy. And I was like, well,
why not both?
You can be both, but there is going to be one you gravitate toward more. And for whatever reason,
that is
howling,
true.
That I gravitate more toward the howling. I imagine you might gravitate more toward.
I do. And Jenny Agutter is, of course, what pushes me over. For
I don't think I have her picture
Is she topless?
here.
Oh yeah, she gets the boobies out.
That's
Absolutely.
Why.
It's like her boobs are afraid of the dark. You know, you just got to get them out. I mean, it's that. It's Logan's Run. It's Walkabout. Don't watch Walkabout. You shouldn't watch Walkabout. That's bad. No. Let's not talk too much about that movie. Let's talk about American Werewolf in London, starring David Naughton. Naughton.
Yeah. I love this poster. And it's weird. It's a weird poster. I've never seen a poster like this before. You have these two young men, Americans, probably traveling in Europe, right? And you just see they're looking, and there's a full moon sky, and it doesn't really show anything.
But no, it doesn't. But what's key about it is, of course, you got the full moon peeking out. Well, first you got the title, all right? American Werewolf in London. That kind of tells you it's about a werewolf. And then what do you see? as a defining feature of this, the full moon peeking through the...
And two Americans who are going to be the werewolf in London.
Right.
Well, one's going to be food.
Yeah, one's going to be dead, the other one's going to be the werewolf. That's
true. They look almost like two characters that could have been in a college comedy type movie that came out from back in the day.
And in fact, the truth is it actually does come out that way.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of humor.
Yeah.
Very uneasy kind of humor in this. So what is the basic story? You've got David Kessler and Jack Goodman, American college students that are on a walking tour.
They're backpacking through Europe. They always
and they're attacked by a werewolf that none of the locals will admit exist.
The English countryside. The slaughtered lamb bar, isn't that what it's called?
It is, exactly. Jack, who is the one on the left there, gets killed. just outright killed. David recovers in a hospital where he's having nightmares about his friend Jack, who keeps coming back as a ghost or a dream or a revenant. You don't know. But every time you see him, he's a little bit more decomposed, you know. And they have banter as though they were still alive. So it's humorous, but very unsettling. Of course, David recovers in the hospital, his nurse being Jenny Agutter, who's just, hello, nurse, right?
No, don't have her picture, sorry.
Right.
You're gonna
You
be
went
mad
out of your way to make sure you had Jack all torn up, but you don't have Jenny Agutter.
I'm
What's
sorry,
wrong with you?
I had a rule, 3 pictures each, and I like the poster because it shows them in their regular
dig
form, so
it,
I didn't have to
I
find a
dig it.
picture for that. But you're right, I should have found one Jenny Agutter too. Oh well. But yeah, nice looking English lady. But yeah.
Real quick, we got to whoops, why I just lost the chat. Where did it go? I saw the Horror King says, I got my girlfriend to get well soon card. She's not sick or anything, but she could be better. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yes, it was The Slaughtered Lamb. Exactly right. I wish Mel Brooks made comedy version of The Wolfman similar to Young Frankenstein and Dracula Dead and Loving It. That's a great point, Jesse Guar. That's something I would want to see.
There might be a reason for that, because Young Frankenstein is, of course, an homage to Frankenstein movies of the 30s, whereas I think Dracula Dead and Loving It was his parody of the Coppola Dracula movie, right? That was sort of him going that route.
I see that. Yeah.
And I don't know why he didn't do a parody. I think the trouble with werewolves movies is that they're not really a steadfast horror genre like the other ones. I mean, I was kind of surprised we got a top 10 list as easily as we did. Because, and there are a couple we left off here too that probably could have made it too, but yeah.
I kind of feel like American Werewolf in London is a movie that most everyone here has seen. We've done rewatches of it on, I don't remember now if it was Netters or Big Al's channel. Maybe I hosted it. Looks like I'll be hosting it again on Monday for the members. But again, this is a very key film in terms of you got John Landis, right, who wrote and directed this film. Again, you have Rick Baker doing the makeup, just like in what do you call it? The Howling. And they will go on to do John Landis directing and Rick Baker doing the makeup on Michael Jackson's Thriller. And you obviously see all of the very similar look to the werewolves, very similar transformation scenes. It's very cutting edge practical makeup effects that
look at
really
that
shaped movies after that. You know,
that's like in the transformation. Look at that. That is creepy as all get out.
So what's incredibly impressive about this is, so there is, if you're paying attention, a slight homage to some of the effects that were done on Lon Chaney Jr. in The Wolfman, where you have cut scenes and dissolve scenes from one thing to another. The dissolve scenes, not quite so much, but like an appliance, and then the next shot, a more advanced appliance. They edit it in such a way that it much of the time looks like they are cutting and showing you a different angle, but in your mind, when you remember it, you think that it is all one long camera shot.
Yeah.
So you go from, flat face to this mid.
Your mind fills in the gaps.
Right.
Brain, yes.
Then in a close-up scene, they get close to that face, and it's no longer his face. It's now an artificial face, and the snout is being pushed out from inside making it look like it's growing. There are scenes close up on the skin with the hair growing out, which is actually filmed in reverse. It's actually hair sticking through a skin appliance, and they pull it back in, and then they just show it in reverse. So there you go. There's also a scene, you probably don't have a picture of this, but
No.
He actually was underneath the floor with his head and I think his hands sticking through the floor, and the rest of his body was an appliance piece that was being manipulated through puppetry off scene. Yeah.
Very cool. So it is a classic. Some good effects when he's full on Wolf 2 in the London subways, right, as I recall, right? He's attacking.
Yeah,
people down there.
absolutely.
And don't as he kills more people, do other victims show up next to his friend? If I'm recalled, does he see them too?
I don't remember that.
Maybe
don't
not.
necessarily remember that.
And his friend keeps getting more raw. And I imagine, again, you don't know if it's his guilt or subconscious, or maybe it really is just a ghost that only he can see. I don't know.
So, just wanted to go back and confirm. I knew I had just looked at this. The Howling was was Rick Baker. He then went on to do, among other films, he then went on to American Werewolf in London, Michael Jackson's Thriller. He actually did Videodrome that year too.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. A very, very varied career for him. Ghost Story. If you remember that one, there were some pretty good makeup effects in that one as well. Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan.
Yep.
Starman, My Science Project, Captain EO. That one is and then the TV series. We weren't really going to be planning to talk about this, but the werewolf character in the show Werewolf, the 29 episodes. Yeah, he worked on 29 episodes designing the werewolf effects and character for the movie
early Fawkes
or for the
series.
TV show. 87 to 88. Yeah, I loved that series. That was it felt very much like the Incredible Hulk is what it
like that whole fugitive thing going on where the guy was, and there was a werewolf hunter after him, which I thought was interesting.
And this whole idea that he would go out of his way to not hurt anybody, and when he did wolf out, it was usually because of another werewolf or some other bad person that needed to be dealt with.
Depensik says, I met Rick Baker. He's an incredibly nice guy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all.
Because he works for a living, anyway.
Well, good point. And he doesn't take his job for granted. Teen Wolf, another one that I have the main character as a Mego action figure. This one was released by Mego just a couple years back.
Quite a reverse from what we were just talking about. American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, this was another Michael J. Fawkes vehicle. There's,
classic poster.
Exactly,
I know this poster, even though I've never actually seen this movie. I'll say
Have
that.
you not?
No.
Okay. This is one of those that
I've seen clips, but not the whole thing. Yeah.
So one of the other films that I had on my list that we dropped because it wasn't high enough on my list was I Was a Teenage Werewolf with Michael Landon.
Yeah.
And that was that back in the 50s or 60s?
Yeah, it was the 50s.
It was an early one. And so when this one came out, my mother felt that it was kind of a spiritual successor or kind of a remake of that movie, but not exactly. Because I Was a Teenage Werewolf, it's definitely a horror movie. It's definitely a modern dress. Kid becomes a werewolf and kills people, and he's definitely it's definitely a horror film. In fact, there are elements of it that are clearly being homaged in Michael Jackson's Thriller. You know, when he's wearing the Letterman jacket, he turns into a werewolf. Get away! You know, that whole thing. That's very much an homage to I Was a Teenage Werewolf. But Yes, I do see the similarity, but okay, here's the best way to describe Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf is I was a teenage werewolf meets Back to the Future. That's really the only way I can put it, because it comes off as the silly comedy that Back to the Future is, with the basic storyline. Yeah, see, he's a werewolf literally just going to school, you know? Ordinary high school student discovers that his family has an unusual pedigree. His werewolfism is not a curse per se. It's just the fact that his father was a werewolf and now he is too.
Tell me that that isn't James Spader to the far right.
It is it?
It may not be. He just kind of has a James Spader.
We'll be talking about James Spader later on. That's
okay. Yes. Anyway, but I'm thinking like he's probably the guy that doesn't like. I don't know why everyone's accepting this freak. Is that sort of thing?
There's definitely that kind of an element to it. Yeah. Let's see. Michael J. Fawkes. James Hampton plays his father. I am not. No, James Spader does not appear in this.
It's all about how, I guess, like for some it's about puberty, but for him it's.
It is very much an allegory for coming of age, puberty, so forth, but in a very comical way. Yeah. So he starts out as the shy, dorky type kid, but then. The hair starts growing on his chest. The hair starts growing on his face. He starts getting all cool. He gets these abilities, so he's really good at basketball for some reason, because I guess wolves are really good at playing basketball. And so then he starts getting super, super popular. All the girls like him. All the guys are jealous of him. That kind of a thing.
You know what this sort of reminds me of? Like the real life story. I don't know if this is from Mexico or someplace where there were these wolf boys, where these kids just had the hair all over their bodies, and normally this would be, oh, you're a freak, keep them out of sight, but they ended up joining, I think, a circus act, and then they became real popular. Even the women were liking them. Do you understand? And it was like they got a second life by doing performers on these shows, which I thought was interesting. So that's sort of what this is reminding me of here, right? Yeah. Like normally something that made people scream, instead now they're actually accepting him, and right? Is that Is that kind of what we're going at? I don't know.
It's it's not even subtle. It's very, very clear. But it's a fun movie. What?
And if I recall, the same guy is playing the principal, that one bald guy who always plays the principal.
The one that was in Back to the Future? I don't remember.
It should have been.
He's the principal here too.
If he wasn't, it should have been. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right. And then we have
there he is
playing basketball.
Playing basketball, yeah.
Yes. And look at that, basketball. Mm-hmm. And is there a big game where they're going up against a rival team who don't...
Exactly.
Maybe they grow to accept what the rival team's like. Who's this?
See, you haven't even seen the movie, and you already know basically what the movie's about.
Is there like a creature from the Black Lagoon?
What?
I said it writes itself.
It kind of does. And Clue Studio, welcome, my friend. He says, hi, how you feeling, Netter?
I'm feeling fine. I just still don't have a voice. If I don't have a voice, early next week I'm going to call my ENT and say, what the heck did you do to me?
Yeah.
Do you think the rival school, at their school, they have a gill man on the swim team, like Creature from the Black Lagoon?
That would be funny. That would be funny.
He gets older. I'm just saying.
Teen Wolf was all right. It seems like everybody was crazy about this movie when it came out. They were crazy about Michael J. Fawkes is what it was. That's really
I just realized something. They have Michael J. Fawkes playing a werewolf, which is basically a dog.
A canine, yeah.
On a basketball team. He's a dog chasing a ball.
Oh, damn. I thought she was going for the fact that his last name is Fawkes, but there you go.
He's a dog chasing a ball.
He's a dog chasing a ball. Yeah, exactly right. You're exactly right. Yeah. So it's the comedy throw in for tonight, I suppose.
Okay. And yeah. All right. So moving on to Wolf.
1994. I'll tell you, this is a movie we need to do a watch party of eventually.
I saw this in the theater. I remember
Mhm.
at the time. And was this a Warner Brothers release? Because it has, of course. Well, let's just show the poster. We have two big leading actors in this. We
Yeah.
have
You
Jack
have Jack
Nicholson, Michelle
Nicholson and
Pfeiffer
Michelle Pfeiffer, who both appeared in The
in
Witches of
Batman movies.
Eastwick.
Oh, and
Oh,
the Witches
well,
of Eastwick. I didn't
they
think about
were
that.
in
Yeah.
two different Batman movies, you're right, but they appeared together in The Witches of Eastwick, yes.
Part of me wonders, was this a Warner Brothers movie? Were they under contract with the studio? Because now they're both starring in this. And I remember
Maybe.
really liking this movie at the time. I remember this was being one of these movies where I wasn't sure I was going to like it. I'm like, yeah, I'll go see it. And then I'm like, oh, this is really about what it is, what it's about. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like not as on the nose as it
Oh,
was.
it's very on the nose. So Jack Nicholson plays Will Randall, a publisher who's been in the industry for a lot of years, and James Spader plays Stuart Swinton, who is the young rival.
The young
who's
rival who's going to take
Yeah.
over, the
Exactly.
yuppie
Michelle Pfeiffer,
character,
of
yes.
course, being the love interest, much younger than Jack Nicholson, and that's important to the story. So
Sort
it's
of a
it's good
taboo in a
casting.
way. Well, not really a taboo, but because I don't think back then it was
It's
considered
meant
a
to push
taboo.
it. She would probably be more age appropriate for James Spader, but Jack Nicholson is, and it becomes a whole alpha versus beta kind of
Wolf thing,
analogy.
yeah.
I
There's
don't
a
know if
scene
you
where
read this one. If you did, I didn't hear you. Horror King says, fun fact, the werewolf transformation in the original Wolfman movie was done using stop motion. It took several hours to apply the makeup for the transformation scene.
Right. What they basically did was they would add an appliance, get some footage, then he would not be able to move, and then they would add more appliance. Sometimes it was just adding a little bit more hair, get some more footage, and then in editing they would dissolve between them. So it's not, I guess it kind of is stop motion. I suppose you're right, but it's, instead of being literal freeze frames, it is adding together videos and overlapping them through dissolve. So very, very good. But yeah. So this is actually a great one. It's again, it's the middle-aged guy seeing his lifetime of career success and whatnot being usurped by the young whippersnapper, and him kind of getting his testosterone back when he starts dealing with
like
the wolf
he
aspect.
starts whizzing near the guy in the bathroom. I remember that.
Quite literally, they are very on the nose with a lot of these kinds of yeah.
And of course, he's got a bit of the wolf in him, doesn't he? Now,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to spoil it, but there is a werewolf versus werewolf thing at the end of this movie, as I recall, right?
It does build up to it. You want that. You need that.
I forget how it resolves itself, too.
Then you got to see it again. Then you've got to
It's
see
been
it.
a while. I saw it in the theater back in the day. I remember liking it, and it's always good to see Michelle Pfeiffer in movies. And,
Well, yeah, she's pretty good in anything, right?
she's actually been cast on a new Taylor Sheridan show with Kurt Russell playing her husband on it. So that should be
Nice,
yes.
nice.
So yeah,
I like both of them,
yeah.
and Wolf is available for rent, not with subscription on Amazon Prime. But honestly, this is one you probably want to get on physical media to keep in your library, because this is a really, really good.
You know what? It's almost like you have to be a wolf to work in corporate America, like Cutthroat. And then you realize, well, no, but there's more.
You
to
mean
this
like the Wolf of
allegory.
Wall Street?
Yes, but in this, he's actually is a werewolf at some point in the movie. Yeah, good werewolf movie. This would have made it on my list. You got to it first. I'm like, yeah, let Troy have it. I'll pick it up.
This is the movie with the scene. His secretary kind of sees him finally stand up for himself, and she says, "It's about damn time." And he gives her some marching orders. She says, "Mr. Russell, has the worm turned?" He says, "The worm has turned, and it's packing an Uzi."
Yeah, it's a good werewolf movie. I highly recommend it. I have nothing bad to say about it. This is the reason why we went to go see movies back in the day. For
Yeah,
stars, you have Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, and even to a lesser extent James Spader. Big deal too. And
he got better as he went. He's
yeah.
someone that if you grew up with him in the '80s, you saw him progress as an actor. You really, really did.
That
Yeah,
depressed me. I was so excited for Age of Ultron because it was Robert Downey Jr., but then you also had James
yeah,
Spader as the voice of
yeah.
Ultron. Like, it's the Brat Pack again. You know?
It was, and they did play off of each other very, very well. They
I mean,
really did.
that was a movie where the trailers, I was hyped for the trailers and liked it a lot more than the movie we got. Because, like in the trailer, it says, when people look up at the sky at the Avengers, they see hope. I'll take that first. Remember that when he says that? I
Yeah,
mean, I was
yeah,
I was so looking forward to that. Anyway, let's move on. James Spader was
yeah.
on Boston Legal. Did enjoy Boston Legal a lot. But William Shatner for me was the draw of that show.
There
Our
you go.
final movie. This is sad.
This one, yeah, this is one that you guys all requested, and
He made me watch it last night.
yeah,
Oh, may I?
because,
Oh,
go ahead. What were you
I was
gonna
gonna
say?
say, Outlaw Bill's asking if you saw Tough Turf. I don't know if Troy has, but I have seen it. I do like that movie a lot.
Yeah,
Tough
I
Turf.
think didn't we do a rewatch of Tough
It's
Turf?
a good one.
Possibly. I
I
know
think it's
I've
a
seen
young
it
James
because
Spader in
Because you're in it. Well, sort of.
there. What is this Dog Soldiers? I've always heard people talk about this movie.
So you
I
haven't
know
seen it,
nothing.
huh?
I know nothing.
I have to admit that it was very high on my to watch list and had not seen it. Let me explain why. I had heard a lot about this film. It had been recommended to me very highly. And hopefully before the end of the month, I will have a video coming out about the Whiz Kids horror clicks. If you know Hero Clicks,
Yeah.
they did a line called Horror Clicks, and a series of 3 figures within that line were dog soldiers. The way it worked was your regular figures. There was a intermediate, medium, and advanced version of these characters, depending on what level game you were playing and how many points you wanted to use. And these dog soldiers, I thought were really interesting. They were basically werewolf army men, so to speak. And
Interesting.
each of the 3 different figures was in a different phase of their metamorphosis. And I was like, oh, this is based on a movie from 2002. I gotta check it out. Had not checked it out. So I did end up watching it last night after Thursday Things. Yes, I did make Netter watch it. The movie stars Sean Pertwee as Wells. You might know him as, if not as Alfred from Gotham, he's the son of John Pertwee, the 3rd Doctor. Kevin McKidd plays Cooper. I know him as Dan Vassar from the TV show Journeyman. But most of y'all might know him as Dr. Owen Hunt from Grey's Anatomy. And Liam Cunningham plays Ryan. You might know him as Davros Seaworth from Game of Thrones. They play Scottish military officers, specifically Cunningham plays a special forces guy, kind of a real dick. You hate him right from the beginning of this movie.
When does this movie take place?
Pardon me?
When does the movie take place?
It 2002-ish.
Okay, so it is taking place
modern.
at the time it was shot. Okay, so it's modern.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, or
I got
maybe a little earlier than that.
Okay.
I mean, but it takes place in Scotland. It starts out with movies used to do this a lot. I don't see them do this so much anymore. Kind of a prologue scene. If you think about, for example, Jaws. The kids going skinny dipping and the girl getting killed by the shark, and then the opening credits start. Well, they do something very similar here, where you've got these two young dating couple apparently camping out in the wilderness, and that night they get into the tent and they're about to get it on, and all of a sudden the tent starts to unzip. The girl gets pulled out, and the guy's trying to rescue her. And as he's trying to pull her back, all of a sudden he's sprayed with blood as she's torn apart, and then
Yikes.
he ends up getting killed. But
Just prior to that, though, she gave him a silver letter.
yeah,
he's a writer.
he's getting ready to start a career as a writer, and she gives him this silver letter opener, which he is starting to grab as he's being attacked and doesn't get a chance to use it. But it's Chekhov's silver dagger, I guess, because it ends up, coming back, later in the movie. But then you're after, that cold open, you I don't know if you cycle back, or I lost a little track of the timeline, but you have this special forces team. You don't know that it's just an exercise, but you've got someone being chased by special forces, hiding and so forth, and then all of a sudden you have Liam Cunningham come around, put a gun to his head, and says, "You lose, but you did better than anyone, in the."
Oh, it's one of those
He lasted
things.
22 hours,
Yeah.
and 37 minutes.
Yeah, you're dead, but you beat everyone else. You're top of the class. So here's what you're going to do. And he hands him, he cocks a gun and hands it to him.
Well,
and goes,
wait.
Yeah.
There's a bit just before that where he goes, "You would have lasted longer had you eliminated the things that could find you." And that's when he hands him the gun and tells him to shoot the dog.
Right. Because there were barking dogs, right? And he's like, "I'm not going to shoot a dog for no reason." And he says, "You need to obey orders." And he basically drums him out of the special forces. He went from top of the class to failing because he wouldn't shoot a dog. And Cunningham, Ryan is the name of the character, walks over and shoots the dog. For no reason, just to show it's just a dog. Get over it. So you're already hating this guy, So a little while later, you have another team, non-special forces, loaded with blanks. It's all an exercise. A couple of the guys are really pissed because there's a football game that they want to see, and they're not seeing it because they have to do this stupid, exercise or whatever that's
Right.
meaningless or whatever. And it's like, well, we'll do our best and we'll be home in time for the second half and blah, 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 and this and that. But then come to find out that the Special Forces team they're supposed to be up against are all dead. They're just dead. They're walking through slime and blood. Yeah. And then eventually they find a base camp with live ammunition and ordnances. And Ryan, Liam Cunningham, who we already hate, who's all torn up, and he's like, "You got to get me out of here. Help." There was only supposed to be one of them. He says that a couple times. And they're trying to...
At no point does anyone ever ask him, one of what?
They eventually get him to get his ass in gear and, straighten up and fly right. But I'm not going to get into... I'm kind of realizing I'm getting into the whole story. They barely survive. A couple of their guys get killed. They end up making it to a road where a girl's coming by in a Jeep. They jump into the Jeep. They get out. It becomes caught in the cabin, surrounded by werewolves kind of a situation. You find out that Ryan and his Special Forces team knew about these things, and they were sent to bring one of these creatures back alive. Thought that they could be used by the military.
We could have really used these things in Tora Bora.
Right, exactly.
It's from Jurassic World. That was the line the Vincent D'Onofrio character used. So you have the plus the girl that rescues them. She has a dog. Doesn't get along really well with Ryan. You get the impression that Ryan hates dogs. But a couple of twist endings that I don't want to ruin for you. It's definitely worth seeing. But I do kind of see the spiritual background to those Horror Clicks figures that I got. This was actually a really, really good take on the werewolf
story. Like I said, a lot of twists here that some of them I saw like coming a mile away, even though it was my first time watching it. At least one of them, Netter said she didn't see coming, but you know.
Yeah, it's like at the beginning of the movie, and looking at different characters, I said, I'm going to call it. This person's going to survive. Because in any horror movie, there's always at least one survivor, sometimes two.
Oh, she had it pegged. Ryan's going to die. He's going to die. We hate him. He's got to die. And who was the other one? It was the journeyman. What's his name? Cooper, the one played by Kevin McKidd. She said he's going to survive. He's the young, good-looking guy. He's going to survive. She was right. I mean, there's one spoiler, right? But there are deaths, you know, that are the equivalent of self-sacrifice to save the others and so forth.
Like Alien.
There's a twist. Yeah. There's a couple of twists as to who ends up becoming a werewolf, who was a werewolf from the beginning, you know, things like that. But I recommend you guys check it out. It is available on Tubi. And there is nothing about this movie that I consider to be cheap or, you know, B-level. This is definitely...
The only real issue I had with the film is that the girl that rescued him kept saying, we just have to hold out till sunrise. You know, at sunrise, then we'll be fine. Well, there's a couple of scenes where you could see the sun streaming through the windows.
It should be sunrise, and it should be...
It's already sunrise because there's sun streaming through the windows. So how is this still an issue?
They were probably trying to shoot day for night, and a filter got messed up. That might have been what happened.
Horror King, I'm sure that I missed a lot. I miss chats when I'm trying to focus on what we're talking about. Troy, I love the line where the sergeant tells his men, if you run in Little Red Riding Hood with an attitude problem, to snuff the bitch. Oh yeah. What was it? No, that wasn't his exact lines. I don't remember it, but yes, exactly. It's like we're not effing around here. Yeah, it was a good line.
So yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, Spoon's last stand in the kitchen, Jesse. Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty good. That was a heroic. Yeah, time for this to end kind of a situation. Yeah, you always get those kinds of things in these movies. So yeah, I am glad that this one was recommended. I did see it. It is freely available on Tubi, so you can watch it at your leisure for as long as it lasts on Tubi. I highly recommend you check that out.
Maybe I will check that out. So I didn't know if we had any. I know we had mentioned this is our top 10. Troy picked 5. I picked 5.
In no particular order, other than we presented them in production order.
I mean, there were other werewolf movies we didn't get to. Like, I know you had the Wolfman remake. You had something else, too. Oh, yeah, I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Wes Craven's
But we did
Cursed.
mention both of them.
I think Wes Craven's Cursed, Did he direct Cursed? I know Kevin Williamson of Scream wrote the screenplay, so that was another werewolf movie. And Silver Bullet, that was another one, too.
I'm trying to bring it up, and I think you're bringing it down. Excellent job curating the list.
I didn't touch it. Okay, well, go ahead.
I'm here, Aged Boomer. Well, maybe I'm just stupid with how I bring up...
Well, actually, yeah, like I said, Troy picked 5, I picked 5. Normally I like to alternate between us, but I want to do it in release order, so that's why...
And for whatever reason, Aged Boomer got all the old ones, and I got all the newer ones.
Well, I feel like no one's heard of The Beast Must Die, even though I think it's actually very underrated, very like a forgotten werewolf movie, which I do recommend. And Wolfen 2, didn't see that. I got that in a Warner Brothers Archives 4-pack, which also includes some other horror movies. Like one is The Hunger, that you've recommended to me a number of times. I should watch that this Halloween season.
You have not watched it yet?
I will watch it.
Watch it when you don't have family around. Just gonna say that.
I got you. Not something to see in the living room, right?
I would.
Visiting, okay. Right.
There's some subject matter about midway that's a little
boobies.
It's more than boobies. It's actually, what would be you should do is check out the not the trailer.
Do a double
The
feature of Disemboweled. I gotcha. Okay.
well, yes. What I was gonna say is Siskel and Ebert did a review of The Hunger.
Okay, yeah, I'll check
And
that out. Yeah.
look into that because they play the lead up scene where Catherine Deneuve and Susan Sarandon are sitting. Catherine Deneuve is playing a piano piece. The piece is actually very important, and Susan Sarandon is drinking some wine, sitting in a chair, reclining, in a white T-shirt with no bra. I mean, and she's talking to her about the music, and it's the aria from Lakshmi, I think it's called, and she's explaining what the piece is about, and it's an aria sung by two women, and Susan Sarandon's listening to it. She says, well, "Is it a love story?" She says, "I told you it was a story by sung by two women." She goes, "So it is a love story?" You kind of see where that's going, right? And as the music's kind of building and building, she accidentally spills the wine on herself. Oh no! And then she's got to take her. And as she starts to take her shirt off, that's where Siskel and Ebert stop. and Ebert's like, oh boy.
Is the Van Helsing movie on the list? No, it is not. Don't get me started on Van Helsing.
Absolutely not. No.
That was that wonderful when I was on with Wolf 10. We were
so that we
you had to bow out because you weren't feeling well.
I drank so much. I was like, I need to liquor up before I see this movie.
We were supposed to be the anti-Van Helsing duo, and Wolf 10 and his guest, I forget who was it. Maybe it was
it
Owen
Mr. Matchstick or something?
Mr. Matchstick or Owen Lister.
I had to take Troy's place.
No, that was a different thing.
That was a different one. That was Phantom of the
Paradise, which I still love. I know that Netter hated that one, but
I got
so
blitzed. I could not. I don't even remember walking away from the stream. I'm like, I guess
you told me, you're like, I can't do this. You have to do it.
I don't. I honestly don't. I can't speak to what happened. I had a bow out. I got sick. I was that drunk. But, I had a good reason. I did not want to have to deal with Van Helsing. Yes. It's a shame, too, because there are elements of Van Helsing where they really did touch on those classic Universal stories. So it could have been a great spiritual successor to all of that, but all the story with Van Helsing, Gabriel Van Helsing, the angel from heaven, on earth. It's just stop, just no. Welcome, Jacen Fawkes from FiveFourtyStudios. Be sure that you are subscribed to FiveFourty.
Putting on that.
Well, if you want Kate Beckinsale, see the Underworld series. That one's not so bad. That's pretty good. Modern dress story of werewolves
Those
versus
have werewolves
vampires.
In them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely worth checking.
I did give Troy, I said, Troy, if you want to use an Underworld movie, you may, because that's werewolves in it, even though it's more focused on the vampires.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, that's it. That's it for tonight. But I think we did good. Werewolves are sort of the unsung monster. They kind of get ignored.
Yeah.
Compared to vampires,
kind of like mummies, they are not specific characters. Frankenstein is a specific character. Dracula is a specific character. Yeah, where werewolves and mummies can be zombies. They are a class of monster. And you could do different things with them. I like that idea. The idea that every story could be different. The lore could be different. And it's as simple as, you know what? You got different tribes of werewolves that have different rules about when they change, how you kill them, what they're compelled to do, what they're not compelled to do, all that sort of thing. I was a big fan of the World of Darkness role-playing game,
right,
from White Wolf, and of course the big one that most people think about is Vampire the Masquerade. But they also had Werewolf the what was it? Werewolf the
Apocalypse?
Kindred, oh yeah, maybe it was Werewolf the Apocalypse. That's
Or
what
maybe
it
that's
was.
a different thing. White Wolf, Werewolf. Let me look that up.
Uh, but
well,
but each one focused on a different type of monster with different rules and so forth, and they were all fairly compatible. It was the same rule set. There was one
yeah, Werewolf the Apocalypse. That's what it is.
Werewolf the Apocalypse. Yeah, I have all of those books. I have all the hardcover books of all of them. But anyway, definitely. How do werewolves stop a DVD? They press the pause button. There you go. Fun fact, one of the many abilities that a vampire has is the ability to transform into a werewolf. Well, actually to change into a wolf. Yes, vampires can and do transform into werewolves. Now, specifically in Dracula, it was said he could turn into a wolf, he could turn into a bat, and he could turn into a mist.
Yeah. Like
now the movies have
Lost.
taken liberties with that. Like, for example, Bram Stoker's Dracula, I think the very misnamed film, shows him turn into like this humanoid bat creature at one point, which is just freaking bizarre. He is shown as a half wolf, half man sort of beast at one point, kind of communicating what he and Lucy are doing. Just saying, just some icky furry stuff going on there. But
yes, that's a scene you don't watch with your parents around anyway. Okay.
Oh, I love this one. This one is probably a great one for us to wrap up the topic with. What do you call a werewolf YouTuber? A like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yes, very good.
Like and subscribe. I like that one, Mark. That's a good one. And yes, please like, subscribe, become a member. If you become a member, you can watch American Werewolf in London, most likely, on Monday for Members Night at the Movies.
And Sunday
I would love
Wolf.
for you guys to join me on that. Yeah. I know we've talked about what we're doing next week. What are we doing?
Yeah, the commercials. You got tomorrow night. Cinema.
No. I mean, what are we doing for a last call next week? We have.
Was that karaoke, or are we going to push?
We are planning karaoke. Although, if Netter's still got a icky voice,
we can wait on it.
We might want to go to the AI stream next week. We do have a big article to talk about, so
we got to do.
We
some
actually have
AI
a couple
stories.
of articles. So
I got to go leaf through what you sent me. I got to go dig those out. There was a big one too that I don't know if I sent you. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we'll do.
Actually, there have been like 2 or 3 on that same topic, so we should really get to those. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm starting to think a lot of this AI stuff is. You know what? We'll say it for next week.
Demon Seed. Yeah.
Demon Seed.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Okay. We'll have to talk about that.
It's a track in a Castlevania game.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, man, that's where they got the track title from. Okay, all right. Then next week we'll be doing AI. So the modern horror. So there you go.
Very much. Yeah, exactly. It kind of is in a lot of ways. I'm going to make this argument. I would say that all of this robotics, artificial intelligence, Terminator type stuff, right?
Yeah,
Skynet is nothing more than a modern dress version of Frankenstein. It's the same idea of man dealing with creating life and it usurping him, becoming like Lucifer, rebelling against God. But it's currently 5:04 a.m. for me, and it's pouring rain outside at the moment. I'm using earphones at the moment, and I can still hear the rain outside. I will admit that I don't have the volume very high. Fair enough, Horror King. We're wrapping up anyway. We'll be done shortly. Yes, tomorrow night, Carrie over on Big Al's, and then, of course, Sunday is Geeky Geezers. That's all for tonight, my friends. Boomer, anything that I missed? Anything you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
No, nothing. Check out some werewolf movies, and if you
Remember, Monday's a full moon.
sometimes restaurants offer you deals on a full moon. You can look into that in your area.
Check it out.
Okay.
Check it out. Netter, any last thoughts? Any last words?
Just how much we appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are Osmo. And I just love that you are a part of our family. So thank you for the many ways that you encourage and support not just us in the panel, but each other in the chat. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. My full moon has completely waned. It is now gone.
Oh no!
So it's an eclipse?
So yeah, exactly. So that means our show is over. So I want to thank you all again so much. Please tip your waitress on your way out. If you do so, please make sure you help her back up again. And you guys all take care, and we will, of course, see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze, our feelings they unfurl. A tapestry of whispers in this corner of the world. The jukebox serenades us with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near. But in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol,